Western Nigeria in the 1950s was tough. Most children never saw the inside of a classroom because their parents couldn't afford to pay school fees. Hospitals were expensive and things like television, people did not even know what that was. Then Obafemi Awolowo became premier, the leader of the region, and everything flipped. Suddenly, schools were full. Children in uniforms were running up and down, learning for free. Parents who never thought that their kids would be able to read were now watching them bring books home, do homework. Kids were treated in hospitals for free. Cocoa money wasn't just exported, it was building Cocoa House, the tallest building in tropical Africa at that time. He opened Liberty Stadium, that was the first modern stadium in Nigeria. And in 1959, Ibadan switched on Africa's very first TV station, the first in sub-Saharan Africa, before most countries of the continent had ever dreamed of it. People call that the golden era of the West. But Awolowo's story wasn't all smooth. In 1959, he stepped down as premier to chase national office. He was hoping to lead Nigeria. He left his deputy, Samuel Ladoke Akintola, in charge of the West. At first, they worked well together. Then cracks started appearing. Awolowo wanted to keep spending heavily on schools and social programs, but Akintola preferred a slower, more conservative path. And soon their party split in two. Parliament sessions turned into fistfights. On the street, supporters clashed, setting houses on fire. The violence, it got so bad that it got a nickname, Operation Wet Year, because people were literally drenching homes in petrol and setting them alight. The federal government in Lagos stepped in, they declared emergency rule in the West, and then they turned on Awolowo himself. By 1963, Awolowo was accused of plotting a coup against the federal government. He strongly denied it. He said that the weapons that he bought, that they were only to protect his supporters. But in the end, he was sentenced to prison for treasonable felony. Many believed that the trial was political, a way to silence him because he was too powerful as opposition leader. Even the Supreme Court later noticed that the evidence for the coup was very weak. But either way, the man who had built schools, hospitals, and all that, he was now behind bars. 3 years later, Nigeria's first military coup changed everything. The soldiers who took power freed Awolowo in 1966. And when the country slid into civil war in 1967, General Yakubu Gowon, he brought him into government as Commissioner for Finance. That meant Awolowo controlled the nation's money during wartime. He helped to keep Nigeria's economy stable. He proposed and named the new currency, the Naira, and he also made sure that the government did not collapse financially. But this part of his story still divides Nigeria. Awolowo supported a food blockade on Biafra. He argued that relief supplies were being stolen by soldiers and that starving the army would end the war quickly. The policy helped to shorten the conflict, but it also caused terrible hunger for civilians. Families in the East, they never forgot that pain. And to this day, some still remember him as the man who saved Nigeria's finances, while others remember him as the man whose decisions starved their people. After the war, Awolowo returned to politics, this time on a national scale again. In 1979, he ran for president under his new party, the UPN. His campaign promised free education and healthcare for all Nigerians, not just the West. He flew across the country in a helicopter, drawing massive crowds. But when the results came, he lost to Shehu Shagari. The result was controversial, the famous 12 to thirds case. But the courts upheld it. Awolowo himself, he accepted the judgment even though he disagreed with the maths. He tried again in 1983, but he lost once more in the elections. Many people believe that it was rigged. That was the end of his presidential dream. Awolowo died in 1987. He never became president. But his ideas shaped generations. The West had the highest literacy rates in Nigeria because of his free schools. Families still remember the Awolowo school their parents attended. Cocoa House and Liberty Stadium, they still stand. And his name is still a symbol of discipline, vision, leadership without corruption. So yes, his story has scars, prison, bitter rivalries, wartime controversies, but it also has achievements that can't be denied. Awolowo, he showed Nigerians that government can actually change lives. And that's why, even today, people still call Obafemi Awolowo a true hero. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like stories like this, please follow me. I tell these stories all the time on all my social media. True Crime with Rennie and True Heroes with Rennie.